It must be that time again. To my veteran subscribers, my La Familia, my Amplified unit, all the way to my newer subscribers that just joined on in recent weeks, welcome to the good, the bad, and the ugly of Fastlane 2019. I'm your host, BC Amplified. And to my veteran subscribers, allow me a few seconds to explain the rules to my newer subscribers. This will be short and sweet. Stick with me. Rule number 1. Every single match on the main show gets at least one tally in the good, bad, ugly columns. So every single match gets at least one tally from the main show, not the kickoff, and there's a reason for that. I'll get to that in rule number 3. But rule number 1, on the main show, every match gets at least one tally in one of these 3 columns. Rule number 2, very simple. Stay away from uglies, because every single ugly counts as 2 bads when we tally up the final outcome at the end of the video. Uglies can absolutely wreak havoc on the outcome of a review for any pay-per-view. This one's Fastlane. Whether you loved it or you hated it, this is going match by match. Every single ugly can destroy the final outcome. Stay away from uglies. I cannot stress that enough. Rule number 3, a tiebreaker, which we try to stay away from as much as possible on this channel. We don't like tiebreakers, but if there is a tiebreaker between the goods and the bads at the end of this video, we will then go to the kickoff show. In whatever match or matches were on the kickoff show, those tallies will determine the final outcome of this pay-per-view and determine if it was good, bad, or ugly. So I don't want to waste any more time talking about it. I want to get right into it. So join me on the fast lane toward WrestleMania, because now we can actually turn our focus and our attention to WrestleMania. There is no more stops. So the one last thing we need to do is be the judge, jury, and executioner of Fastlane. Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it ugly? Join me. Buckle up. Let's go for a ride. Now I'm about to do something I've never done in the history of the good, the bad, and the ugly on this channel. And that is, before we even go match by match, I am about to put several tallies into one of these columns. The other 2 columns are going to start off at a severe deficit. Severe deficit. To the likes we've never seen before on this channel. But it has to be done. The first one, right into the ugly column. There's a tally already in the ugly column. Why? BC, why you doing that to the good column, man? Now they gotta fight back. They're starting off at a huge deficit, you damn right they are. Because multi-man schmaz matches are all too common in today's pro wrestling. It is clear it is the easy way out for Vince McMahon. He gets to collect all of this talent, make sure nobody else has it, no other organization, no other company, and then he doesn't have anything really to do with them. He doesn't want to really invest any time or any effort or any creativity, so he takes the easy way out, and he throws together multi-man schmaz matches. Hey man, that's fine and dandy if that's what you want to do at your company, but now you're starting to tarnish the business itself, because now these multi-man / multi-woman schmaz matches are leaking into the championship matches. All too common now, we're seeing championship matches that are multi-person schmaz matches. Sideshows at a circus. Last night we had 3 of them. The United States Championship was determined in a fatal 4-way. The Raw Tag Team Championships was determined in a triple threat. In the WWE Heavyweight Championship. The Heavyweight Championship, one of your top 2 titles, determined in a 3-way triple threat schmaz match. And we don't know how many we're going to get at WrestleMania, but I'm guessing it's at least going to be 4 separate multi-person schmaz matches. Most likely going to be more, but at least 4. If you don't see the problem with that, you need to open your eyes. You need to really start thinking about what this business is based on. Champions versus challengers. If you are so bad at what you do at running this company that you can't even invest in interest and get people captivated in a storyline between 2 individuals, so you need to throw in multiple individuals just so people will stand up and go, wow, that was cool, then that is a huge issue. I have no choice but to put that into the ugly. The fact that there was that many multi-person schmaz matches last night, because it is a problem that is all too common lately. And if I don't stand up and make that stand today with the audience that I have, the platform that I have been given, in doing what I do, if I don't make a stand and at least voice that issue, then I am just a part of the problem and I am nowhere near a part of the solution. And that is a problem for me. We need to get back to the days where a champion is treated as such, and a challenger is treated as such, and a challenger for a top title is somebody that actually earned it. And that brings me into my second tally that's going to go in to one of these columns, and it's the same column we just went into. Another ugly. Why? Why, BC, did you just put a second ugly? We haven't even gotten to the matches. Because just like the multi-person schmaz matches that has become an issue, and it wreaked its ugly head again in last night's pay-per-view, the second ugly goes into that ugly column because Mustafa Ali was called upon the championship match last night, and it was called a triple threat match, impromptu style. Mustafa Ali, because Vince didn't know if Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens had what it takes to captivate. But if you just booked them properly from the beginning, if you had a good story that was going to compel us, then guess what? Owens and Daniel Bryan will make it work. They're consummate professionals that can go in that ring. They'll find the right chemistry. It may take a minute, maybe 3 minutes, but we've seen them in the ring before. We know what they can do. But no. You brought in Mustafa Ali, and you had your commentary team try to sell the sheep. Oh, not I, though. I saw through the bullshit. But you had your commentary team try to sell to the sheep that Mustafa Ali, just like Kevin Owens, was deserving of that shot. But you didn't expect people like the Amplify Man that actually remembers their past, that actually does their research, to speak about it, did you, Vince? Oh, I did my research. Here's Mustafa Ali's last 4 matches, televised anyway, before injury. You ready for this? Before he got injured, these are his last 4 televised matches. December 29th, lost a fatal 5-way, not even 4-way. Vince really got he really was feeling it that day. Fatal 5-way match. Mustafa Ali loses to AJ Styles. The following week, January 8th, lost a tag team match to Andrade and Samoa Joe. 2 weeks later, January 22nd, lost to Samoa Joe via submission. A couple weeks later, February 5th, lost to Randy Orton clean via pinfall. No victories. His last 4 matches. Then he gets injured. Then he comes back and gets catapulted right into the championship match at a pay-per-view known as Fastlane last night. BC, it's not a big deal. BC, it was just to get some more traction for Kofi. BC, it was just to make it more exciting. Don't BC me. Keep your little golf claps, and if you're okay with what transpired last night, you keep it to yourself, because no longer am I going to allow nonsensical stupidity and bullshit on this channel. I can't. This is the type of stuff that is tarnishing this company in this business. Mustafa Ali brought into a title match when he was the opposite of deserving. He hasn't won a match in the last month that he was competing. Then he got injured, and then he was just brought into a title match. In a match that issued a guy like Kevin Owens, who came back from injury and was just handed a title match. And then you have a guy like Daniel Bryan, who's an actual champion. He goes out there and he wrestles and he earns his spots the old-fashioned way, even though he's a heel, but he does it the old-fashioned way. How can anybody be okay with that? And then when it's all said and done, everyone just wants to talk about, it was a good match though. What a great match. If you order a coffee, a regular coffee, black, you don't need anything to dilute it. But the barista gives you a coffee back with extra cream and sugar. Of course it's going to taste good. It's got cream and sugar. But it's not what you ordered. You wanted a regular black coffee to get you jumping, get you jiving, get you amplified. You didn't want it diluted. Of course it's going to be sweeter. Of course it's going to taste better. You didn't want that. You wanted it to be the best possible product you could pay for. Black, straight up. You didn't want it diluted with cream and sugar. That's what we are getting. Of course, if you add a third, a fourth, a fifth person, that ups the chances of the match coming off really good. Because you got a guy like a ping pong ball bouncing off of every post. And doing flips and dives that half the gymnasts in this world can't do. Of course, that's going to create oohs and ahs. But at what point are the oohs and ahs no longer good enough? At what point do we start looking at champions as champions and challengers as legit competitors and the best possible choices for the champions? It has turned into a joke, a sideshow, and you guys know I'm being truthful here. You may hate what I'm saying because you may love Mustafa. You may have loved that match so much that you're okay with it, but if you're listening to my words, you know I am telling the absolute 100% truth and facts. This is what we've come to in this company, that every championship match at any given point can not only be a multi-person schmaz match, which is it's a sham, that is not a championship match. But on top of that, now it has just gotten to the point where they can just call out names for title matches. They don't even have to win matches anymore. Mustafa lost his last 4 televised matches, then got injured, then came back, got catapulted right there. Hasn't won a match in 2 months on TV. But he was catapulted right into a main event title match last night, or one of the main events. Kevin Owens comes back from injury. Kevin Owens is in the match for the title. Charlotte Flair, out of nowhere, not even on Monday Night Raw. Charlotte Flair's in this match. We have gotten to a new era, a new low in this company, where now we just call out names. We introduce people whether they're deserving or not. That is exposing this business way more than Ronda Rousey ever can in any promo, in a trailer, or any promo on her YouTube channel. This is exposing the business way more because titles, for the longest time, hadn't meant shit to this company. But now we're actually seeing that challengers no longer mean shit. Hornswoggle could be challenging for the heavyweight championship next week. David Arquette, Eric Bischoff. And we're supposed to just eat the bullshit that Vince is feeding us. Pizza, can I have some more? Mustafa Ali in that match last night, I don't care how damn good it was, and we're going to go over that match in the good, the bad, and the ugly, the actual match-by-match review. We're going to go over that in just a few minutes. And I'm going to talk about the wrestling. But if you're okay with that, then you are part of the problem, not the solution. That is a sham. You look at a guy like Daniel Bryan who has been doing this for how long? How long? Years and years. To where this business should not be a sham. A champion means you're a champion for a reason. A challenger means you earn that opportunity for a reason. And now we are living in an era of sham. Absolute bullshit. And I'm calling it out. You're damn right. That is two uglies. One for multi-person schmaz matches way too many times, and way too many times now in championship matches, schmaz matches. But now, a second one, because now we're just throwing people in there like Mustafa Ali when I just went over the facts because I do my research. He actually does not deserve it. In fact, he deserves to be back in 205 Live with that type of booking. BC, it's not his fault. They booked him to lose those matches. I know. It's called pro wrestling. I'm not a fucking idiot. I know how it works. But if you want somebody to go for the title, you have to show him as such in the eyes of the beholder, in the eyes of the crowd, the eyes of your audience. They have to be deserving. On paper, you have to be able to look at it and go, wow, he's kick-ass, man. He wins a lot of his matches. But we shouldn't even have to look on paper. I shouldn't even have to have done that. You know why I had to go back and do my research on it? Because it felt like he never wins. Guess what? It felt that way because he never does. It's below 50-50 booking. And then when he gets thrust into a championship match, I'm supposed to sit back and go, he deserves it. Corey Graves was right. He said he deserves it, and he does. No, he doesn't. Not even close. So where does it end? Eric Bischoff, David Arquette? I'm not even done. I have a third tally. Before I even start the match-by-match tallies, a third one. Same one. Into the ugly column. A third ugly. BC, what are you doing? This pay-per-view, this review's already tarnished. There's no way the goods can come back from this. Well, you better hope they can. For WWE's sake, they're going to have a flawless match-by-match tally. Because don't forget, every ugly counts as 2 bad. So technically, they're already up to 6 bads. And I have no remorse. I don't feel bad at all. What's the third one for, you guys want to know? The third one is for Ronda Rousey and that whole deal last night. What was that about? Charlotte Flair can't even beat a one-legged Becky Lynch in 10 minutes, and then Ronda comes out and throws a punch or a knee, just one move. Smiles, walks off, Becky no-sells it, smiles herself, Charlotte doesn't know what's going on, and that's the segment. That is your storyline heading into WrestleMania's main event. That Ronda Rousey segment last night made me nauseous. I literally wanted to stop the pay-per-view right there, but I knew there was another match to come. There's no way I could hold off and wait to the match tally for that. I had to express how something like that is so criminally wrong and tragically horrible. I don't know how that passed the sheet of paper for Vince McMahon. This is the creative we have tonight for Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, and Vince just okayed it. And that's how you use Ronda Rousey. And Becky Lynch, she's still hopping along. And at this point, why not? Why not? Charlotte couldn't beat you in over 10 minutes last night with one leg. That is the Becky Lynch we have heading into WrestleMania. You know damn well she's going to hop herself into WrestleMania. That is what they have for Becky Lynch this whole time. Let's have her hop along for 3 months, and at WrestleMania, she'll win the title with one leg. The ultimate undergal story. Ronda Rousey, all the shit talking that she did this week, captivating everybody. Wow, she's calling wrestling out and this and that. And she comes in and she throws the most weakest punch or knee, whatever it was supposed to be. I could pick any 3-year-old out there in the world and they can punch or knee harder than that. To the point where Becky had no choice but to no-sell it and smile. And we're supposed to believe Ronda hates Becky so much that she gave her a free ticket into WrestleMania? Am I supposed to skip that logic? That is 3 uglies right out of the gate. Frustrating beyond belief. But we haven't even started yet. Now, with 3 uglies already in the ugly column, a huge deficit for the good column to start from. But now let's start the review. Now we go match by match. Now that I let go of those frustrations and put 3 uglies right into that column, now we can begin this review. So we'll start at the top of the show. This was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Miz and Shane McMahon taking on the Usos. You guys know I can't lose here because I love both these teams. I'm a huge fan of Shane McMahon and a huge fan of the Usos right now. they're on their game not only in the wrestling ring, but also in their promos. In The Miz, I can definitely dig The Miz. So no matter who won here, I was fully on board. All they had to give me was a damn good match. Guess what? They gave me a damn good match. They gave all of us a damn good match. And more importantly, this match was even better than their previous match. So it's always good when you can up the ante, and they were clearly running on all cylinders last night. There was one spot where Shane McMahon went to do coast to coast. One of the Usos was on the other side of the ring, daring Shane McMahon to jump because he was going to meet him midair. Shane McMahon is not one to dare to do anything because he'll do it. He'll take the risk no matter what you're going to do about it. And Shane McMahon, sure enough, he called the Usos' bluff. He jumped. One of the Usos jumped. They met mid-air and just collided. It was a thing of beauty, man, that you can only see from Shane McMahon for sure. Now, the match itself, as I said, this was obviously good. That goes in the good column, guys. So finally, after the three uglies that I gave this before we even kick off the show, finally we got one in the good. We started the rehabilitation process toward making this pay-per-view even again. But I'm not done there in this match. It's not just going to get one tally. There's another tally that's going into this match, and that's because of what happened after the match. See, the whole time they're in Cleveland, Miz is really playing up that he's the hometown boy. I felt that at any moment, Miz was going to turn on Shane. I know a lot of people were thinking Shane would turn on Miz, but the story was right there for the taking if they wanted to take the easy way out for the WrestleMania match between Shane and Miz. And that was Miz turning on Shane. But that's not what they did. You see, after this match, which again, if you hadn't seen the pay-per-view yet, I strongly urge you to do such. But you shouldn't be watching this video if you don't want spoilers, because that's what this whole video is about. This end result was The Miz getting rolled up and the Usos keeping their tag team championships. When the Usos went to the back, this is where you had the shaking of the heads, the distraught looks between Shane and Miz. Oh, I'm sorry, Shane McMahon, don't worry about it. Miz's dad is by ringside the whole time. Miz goes over to his father, hugs him. I'm sorry, Dad. Shane McMahon even gives Miz's father a big hug. They're all depressed. They're distraught. They couldn't get the job done. The Usos retain their championships. Miz goes to walk away. It's Shane McMahon who clotheslines Miz from the back. Devastating style. Vicious clothesline. Knocking the Miz face first down into the mat. Shane McMahon begins an assault on the Miz. I love this. I was waiting at any moment for the Miz to turn on Shane. It's Shane in Miz's hometown that turned on the Miz. Absolutely epic. That gets a good. So in one match, you have two in the good column, guys, because again, that was done beautifully. Not only was the match good, but WWE finally told a story good. They did it well, at least. Right? I'm hard-pressed to call anything they do storyline-wise good these days, but they did it well. It was well played. All the way from the Royal Rumble till now, and really playing up the fact that Shane McMahon always wanted to be tag strap holders, that The Miz always wanted to show his father that he could be one of the elite tag team specialists. And in Miz's hometown, they couldn't get the job done to get those tag straps back. And it's Shane McMahon who finally lost it. It's Shane McMahon who couldn't deal with the Miz's shortcomings anymore. And Shane McMahon began a beatdown on the Miz. I loved it. Again, that's another tally up in the good, man. I cannot express how pleased I was with that entire first match. The matchup itself, wrestling-wise, and then the extracurricular activities afterwards. If that's what you're going to lead up to for a Miz and Shane McMahon WrestleMania match, now I'm interested. If Miz just turned on Shane, I don't know if I would be as captivated. I can't say I would be. But they played the story beautifully. Shane McMahon, before he leaves to go through the curtain up at the top of the ramp. He looks back, he looks at the crowd, and it's like he has a look of disgust for the crowd. Like he does not accept mediocrity. And that crowd resembled mediocrity to The Miz. To Shane McMahon. I fucking loved it. That's 2 up in the good column, guys. And that was the first match of the night. So, if you think about it, every ugly counts as 2 bad. But in the first match, we got 2 good. So that equals out one of those uglies. That's the good news. The bad news? You still got 2 more uglies, which equals 4 more bads. So you're still way in the hole. This pay-per-view has to go off without a hitch the rest of the way. Can they do that? Not so fast. The next match was a SmackDown Women's Championship. Title holder Asuka taking on challenger Mandy Rose. Mandy slipped on the apron thanks to Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville was trying to look for something underneath the ring the whole time. She puts up the apron, or the fucking covering to the apron, puts it up on the ring for some reason. I have no idea. This was the silliest ending in what was a silly match to begin with. But Mandy Rose goes to hit the ropes, slips on the apron, thanks to Sonya Deville. And we had a wicked kick by Asuka. We had a 1-2-3. And that was the match. Asuka winning isn't my issue. Of course she should win. It's against Mandy Rose. My problem is, why was this a pay-per-view worthy match to begin with? Anybody saying it was just to get Asuka to WrestleMania, that's cute, that's cuddly, that's cozy, you're adorable, but Asuka doesn't have anything for Mania anyway. So now you're going to put her on TV, now you're going to put her on a pay-per-view finally, when it still means nothing? And this is no shade to Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is improving by the day. That's awesome to see. But a title match with Asuka should have never been in the cards 4 weeks before WrestleMania. This match, nothing special happened during the match. The end of the match was the weirdest. I can't say that because we'll get to that with Becky Lynch and Charlotte later. But it was cringeworthy. It was awkward. It was absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid the way this match went down. As if Mandy Rose didn't slip thanks to Sonya Deville, Asuka would have been in trouble of losing her championship. Please. And then after the match, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were arguing with each other. We've already seen that. We've seen them actually separate around the Royal Rumble. Do you guys remember that? And then all of a sudden, with no explanation, they were back together. So that was their big story? Now they're feuding again? I'm not buying any of it. I don't like any of it. It's going straight into the bad column, guys. So the momentum from Shane McMahon and The Miz versus the Usos, getting 2 tallies in the good, that was immediately destroyed 1 match later with Asuka and Mandy Rose. I didn't like anything about it. I didn't like the match. I didn't like the story that was being told. And I don't like the fact that we're rehashing Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose once again at each other's throats. Does nothing for Asuka, by the way, going forward. Didn't make her look any more stronger at all. She's tapping out Becky Lynch at the Rumble, and she's barely squeaking by with Mandy Rose. Thank God Mandy Rose slipped on the apron. Thank God Sonya Deville screwed it up for her. That's making Asuka look strong. So after the first 2 matches, guys, we got 3 uglies, we got 1 bad, we got 2 in the good. We continue on with a handicap match. This was impromptu. A lot of people don't like this, right? Because the crowd was chanting boring. And fans at home and the crowd in attendance felt that Kofi was being screwed out of a championship match. But if you think about it, guys, he was never actually promoted to be in the championship match last night. So this was just to gain more momentum for Kofi. That's all this was. It sucks for Cleveland if they actually thought Kofi was going to be in that match last night with Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, or Kofi Kingston was going to walk out with the championship in Cleveland last night. But if you have any common sense and logic and a brain in your skull, you would know Kofi Kingston was never going to be walking out with any championship last night, much less be in that match. But he wasn't even promoted for the show. So for WWE to devote that much attention to him to build momentum, I loved it. Vince McMahon is backstage and he says that Kofi Kingston is going to be in that match. It's going to be a triple threat, and that match is going to happen now, so get to the ring. Kofi goes to the ring, but it was all one big plan by Mr. McMahon. See, instead, he brought out the bar, and Cesaro and Sheamus and Kofi Kingston had themselves a little handicap match in which it was just Kofi Kingston getting his ass handed to him. Several times in this impromptu match, Kofi Kingston actually got the upper hand, so showing his grit, showing his fight, showing his heart, but it was just too much to overcome. Cesaro and Sheamus just beat that ass minute after minute to the point where the fans were screaming boring. But I loved it because it was showing that Kofi Kingston can take a beating and keep ticking, keep going. So subconsciously, this was implementing something really good for the future. Guys, it is no question that Kofi Kingston is going to be taking on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I just hope it ain't no fatal four-way schmaz bullshit with Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens or whoever else they want to put in there. If it's just Kofi and Daniel Bryan, this story is being told beautifully. And I love the fact that he's getting screwed out of all these opportunities, and they're actually doing it the right way, unlike what they did with Becky Lynch the past several months. So you can claim boring, you can claim he got screwed, you can claim all that. But at the end of the day, the story was told beautifully. That goes into the good column. That handicap match served its purpose. Kofi Kingston took an ass whooping and he kept ticking. And it gained the sympathy from everybody. How dare McMahon do that to somebody who should have been walking out with the championship? Now people want to see him in that match even more so. And that was never more evident than that championship match last night when Ali came down to the ring and he actually got booed out of the building at first. Everybody wants to see Kofi Kingston now more than ever. So that segment served its purpose and it did more good than it did harm. That's why it went into the good column. During that, Big E and Xavier finally made their way down to help make the save, or tried to, but they were cut off by Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Do we care? Is that going to lead to several more SmackDown matches between Big E and Xavier versus Shinsuke and Rusev? How intriguing! I'll be sure to hit the bathroom and make a sandwich and go out and yell at people in the middle of Fifth Avenue while that match is on. Every week on SmackDown till WrestleMania, because that's what you're probably going to get. So, now after 3 matches, we got 3 uglies, 1 bad, 3 good. We're starting to make a little bit of a comeback. The next matchup was the Raw Tag Team Championship. This was a triple threat match. I already explained my displeasure for multi-person schmaz matches, but I already got that out of the way in the uglies, so let's just talk about the wrestling. This match, absolutely good. Not going to say great, but absolutely good. Everybody went in there, rolling on all cylinders. Nobody fucked up to the utmost degree. That's always a plus in these schmaz matches. When it was all said and done, Dawson countered a crossbody from Gable, which was followed by a shattered machine. The Revival pick up the victory over Gable, retain their championships. But after the match, it was all for nothing because all the faces ended up getting their movesets in on the Revival. So the Revival wins the match, but they look like chumps afterwards. Everybody just looked like a sore loser in this match. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable beat up the Revival, Ricochet, Aleister Black. And everybody's celebrating like they actually accomplished something. Hello? You just lost the match. Aleister Black and Ricochet are celebrating with smiles on their faces with their music playing. You lost! I believe that's their first loss, on television anyway, on the main roster. So I don't know what you're celebrating about. BC, it was a triple threat match, so they didn't actually lose. No, they did. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can claim you love multi-person matches, but then if they don't actually take the pin or tap out, then they didn't actually lose. Which is it? They're part of the match. They lost. So, anyway, I already told you I don't like multi-person schmaz matches. That was one of the reasons there was an ugly in that column. But as far as the wrestling in that match, I'll put that in as a good, guys. So now we have 4 up in the good column, 1 in the bad, 3 in the ugly. But that triple threat Raw tag team match, it was actually a good match, so I'm not going to pick on it any more than I already have. I just wish they would stop the beatdowns after the match. In other words, when the victor reigns victorious, stop having them get beat up just to try to save face for the loser. You're the one who 50-50 booked them into this mess. Think of a creative way to get them out of it. Every single time there's a winner, the winner ends up getting beat up afterwards. It's redundant. Get creative, be original. Moving on, the United States Championship. Another schmaz match. This is a fatal 4-way. Another championship match being decided in a multi-person schmaz. Again, just like the Raw Tag Team schmaz match, I already explained my displeasure, and I already put that in the ugly. So as far as the wrestling in the fatal 4-way match, just like the tag match for the Raw tag straps, this goes into the good column. Because it was good. So the United States Championship match was good. That's all I'm going to tell you. Wasn't great, wasn't epic, I wasn't that interested or captivated because it was a multi-person schmaz match. But all the performers went in there, and they performed to the best of their ability, I believe, and they gave us a show. What I really liked, and why this really goes into the good column, again, that's 5 now, we got a full 5-pack tally in the good. The reason it really goes there is because they had Samoa Joe tap out Rey Mysterio for the finish. I really like that because a guy in the in the caliber of Rey Mysterio tapping out to Samoa Joe really legitimizes the fact that Samoa Joe belongs with that strap. I mean, we already know that, but to see him win in a dominant fashion, that's really good to see, man, and it really makes Samoa Joe look really strong and good going forward. I don't see him leaving WrestleMania with the strap. I think this was all to get that strap on a face at Mania. But still, I like it. Knowing WWE, they'll have some multi-person schmaz match set up for him for WrestleMania to look like a goofball. So I'm not going to hold my breath on them making Joe look strong from here on out. But at least we got one night of it, and I'll take it. The next tally isn't even a wrestling match, guys. This was throughout the whole night, you had Elias doing these little bits to the Cleveland crowd. Did nothing for the people at home. We're not from Cleveland, so we don't care. But after every couple matches, Elias would be out there and he'd be busting on Cleveland about their football team, about LeBron James, about anything under the sun that has to do with Cleveland. And I'm okay with it if at the end of the night, during his final performance, there's an interference, there's somebody that breaks it up, and it actually leads to something cool, something epic for WrestleMania. If this was all for something cool for Elias, then this was all worth it. However, it was not, and for that reason, this is going into the bad column. Boom! 2 bads now, guys. All of this Elias junk goes into the bad. Why? Because the final payoff during his 3rd or maybe 4th performance of the night was all just to get Lacey Evans to walk down the ring, turn around, wave, and walk her sizzle ass back up the rampway. And then out of nowhere, an RKO drops Elias. Randy Orton turns around, and AJ Styles is waiting for him with a phenomenal forearm. Now, if that seemed cool to you, golf clap. However, I actually have logic and common sense instilled in me from day one. So my question is, all of that for Elias was just to have him get RKO'd? All of that was for nothing in the future for Elias. That set up 0 for Elias. But BC, it set up Orton and AJ Styles. Okay, why should I care about that? I told you from day one. AJ Styles and Randy Orton, to me, is a consolation prize for both. That is WWE. That screams that WWE had nothing for Styles and Orton from day one for WrestleMania, so they're just throwing them together. On top of that, how did AJ Styles know RKO out of nowhere was coming? He was right there when Randy Orton delivered the RKO. Nobody is exploring those logic gaps. Nobody wants to talk common sense. We're just supposed to forget that. I can enter the land of make-believe. I love doing it. But you gotta have some logic, man. And again, all of that I was hoping was gonna lead to something for Elias. It didn't even do that. It was a 10-second segment for AJ Styles and Orton to try to get us caring, giving a shit about it. It didn't do it for me. If it did for you, again, golf clap. Women's Tag Team Championships. This is Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. Listen, this match could have been a 10-star classic, and it wouldn't have mattered. This goes into the bad. What the fuck am I doing? This goes into the bad column. That's 3 bads now. The Women's Tag Team Championship match just went into the bad. And the reason, guys, I don't need a reason, but I'll give you one. Nia Jax and Tamina have taken on Sasha Banks and Bayley a million times already. Just like the Riot Squad and Sasha and Bayley. Just throwing Tag Team Championships in the marquee, putting that in the headline, isn't going to make a difference. I did not need to see this match on Monday Night Raw. I didn't need to see this match on a house show. Let alone on a pay-per-view. And it didn't even deliver. What captivated you in this match? What was even good in this match? Nothing. I can't even say Sasha and Bayley winning was good because Sasha is still stuck with Bayley. Sasha Banks has one of the best entrances in all of pro wrestling. The theme music, the way she struts down there acting like she owns the place, I love it all. It helps captivate you. But instead, she gets 4 seconds of her song, and then all of a sudden, or whatever the fuck Bayley's music is, now we're all of a sudden entered into the circus. Sasha has 4 seconds of her music, and then Bayley's music plays the rest of the time, and we got the streamers, and all of a sudden we're in a sideshow at the circus. No, I don't want to see Sasha in this anymore for the rest of 2019, but that's what it looks like is going to happen. And they're going to be in matches with Tamina and Nia. They're going to be in matches with the Riot Squad. So yeah, that goes into the fucking bad column. But hold on. There's actually another tally that's about to go into the good column that stems from this match. Because after the match, Beth Phoenix found herself at the commentary table between Tamina and Nia. Tamina started talking shit to Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix was like, fuck this, I don't need to take it from you. Beth Phoenix hauls off on Tamina. Nia Jax flatlines Beth Phoenix. They put her into the ring. They start a beatdown on Beth Phoenix. Natalya ends up trying to make the stave. Natalya gets a beatdown. So not saying that I want to see Tamina and Nia versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix. I'm not saying that. However, I am saying I would love to see Beth Phoenix in the ring one more time. In something that's not a battle royal. This could still end up in a battle royal, just with all 4 participants, but if this is leading to Beth Phoenix in a match, guys, that is good. It was awesome to see Beth Phoenix mixing it up last night. That goes into the good column. So even though the match couldn't make its way into the good column for the tag team women's straps, Beth Phoenix mixing it up, that made up for it. That was absolutely a good. It was great actually seeing Beth Phoenix up in that shit. And then there was the WWE Championship match. That's next. This is champion Daniel Bryan taking on Kevin Owens and a third participant that was named. And that was Mustafa Ali. Booed out of the building at first because everybody wanted Kofi Kingston. I just wanted Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens because here I was thinking I was watching a championship match. Which should be champion versus challenger. Huh, my mistake. What was I thinking? I tell ya. Surprised they didn't add 7 more names in, just to use up some more people on the roster. But they were happy with just Mustafa Ali rolling down there, collecting up some booze. Listen, I'm not gonna bash the wrestling on this. I already expressed my extreme displeasure. That isn't one of the uglies, these multi-person schmaz matches when a title is on the line. So let's just stick to the wrestling. This match was good. I liked it. Never said I wouldn't. Never said I had this huge problem with Mustafa Ali. My big thing is, for months, for the 2 years I've been doing this channel, I've been I've been voicing how we need larger-than-life characters. That is one of the biggest things that is killing this company in this business today, this industry of professional wrestling. We need larger-than-life characters. So what do? They give us Mustafa Ali. And there's people that go, I love Mustafa BC. That's great. That is not solving the problem. That is not solving the issue. If you're a grown adult and you're going to get Mustafa's autograph, he's looking up at you. That's cute and cuddly for a few wrestlers, right? Rey Mysterio and such. But when we need larger-than-life superstars, man, I don't need another guy looking up to me as we're trying to get autographs, right? I mean, come on, man. So we'll start off. Next up, WWE Championship. That's champion Daniel Bryan taking on Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali, introduced as a third competitor when everyone was expecting Kofi Kingston, so obviously Ali is booed out of the building. Listen, I already expressed my displeasure with multi-man schmaz matches, in championship matches especially. We already gave that a tally, didn't we? So let's stick to the wrestling here. The wrestling match was good between these three. Kinda knew it would be. Got no problem with Mustafa Ali up front. I need you guys to realize that. Well, you hate Mustafa, BC. I don't. I want to give the kid a chance. That doesn't mean you thrust him in these positions, and that doesn't mean he should be in our main events. I voiced for months, in the 2 years even that I've done this channel, how this company in this business, this industry as a whole of professional wrestling, needs larger-than-life characters now more than ever. So what do? They give us people like Mustafa Ali. I don't need people that are smaller than me continuously. We're going to start needing people that are larger than life, personalities that jump off the screen. Mustafa can cut decent promos, but they're nothing that's jumping off the screen. His personality isn't captivating anybody. His wrestling is that of the new era, new generation. I understand. He's like a ping pong ball. You never know where he's going to be next. He's bouncing from pillar to post. That's exciting. Okay. That's not what this business is going to rest upon. You guys think I'm just spewing nonsense, man? You wait. I'm usually right in the long run, aren't I? Exactly. Wait and see. Especially with somebody like Ricochet now in there, man. Where does it end? Yes, they can put on good matches and they have their place, but now what? What does that mean? Now you actually have people online clamoring for a fatal four-way at WrestleMania for the championship. Then how is that a championship match? I ask you. That's no longer a championship match. That's a sideshow at a circus. That's all that is. You are absolutely spitting on this business. You are exposing it way more than Ronda Rousey ever could. And that's the truth. Anyway, my frustrations are coming back with this shit, so let's just stick to the wrestling. The match itself was good. I'm not going to punish the creative or Vince McMahon's decisions on these wrestlers. The wrestlers went out there, they kicked ass. That is a good. Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Mustafa Ali, they went out there, they had a good match. I don't ever want to see it again. The bottom line is this, and I'll go through the ending here. Daniel Bryan caught Mustafa Ali mid-air with a knee to the face. That was a pretty badass finish, actually. Daniel Bryan rolls up Mustafa Ali after that knee to face with the victory. Here's the thing, and Kevin Owens was in that match, so it doesn't matter if he took the pin or not. Owens lost. So Mustafa Ali was granted out of nowhere that opportunity. I'm still pissed off about it. It makes no sense. It's illogical. It should not be in a title match, but he was gifted that opportunity. He lost. Not only was he gifted it, he lost. It's over. Kevin Owens was gifted that opportunity. Vince just called him out there one night and said, you have your shot. Didn't even have to wrestle a match when he came back. They were both gifted this opportunity. They both lost. No, there should not be a fatal four-way in 4 weeks. Even if both of them went on a winning streak for 3 weeks, wow, what a streak. That wouldn't earn them an opportunity at the title. Shit at that logic, Styles would be before them. Orton would be before them. Samoa Joe would have a chance at a 2-at-once championship opportunity to hold 2 straps at once. I could go on and on with the list, man. Jeff Hardy would go before that. Andrade could go before that. Shit. So no, I don't see how anybody with a brain in their skull, anybody who was born with the common sense gene, could honestly say, I'm excited for a fatal 4-way championship match. It would make 0 sense. And it would spit on this business. Because we're already going to have a plethora of multi-person schmaz matches, and many of them for championships. Can't I just have Kofi versus Daniel Bryan? You don't think that's going to be good enough? Go back and watch their ending to the Elimination Chamber match. 20 minutes of them going at it. They could have fought forever and we still would have been invested to this morning. We would have still been captivated. Here I am again, going on. It upsets me to no end. But you know what? The wrestling was good, so that went into the good column. That's good. It's over with. I don't want to see Ali and Kevin Owens anywhere near that championship headed toward or through WrestleMania. Bottom line. Next, Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair. If Becky wins, she gets added to the match with Ronda and Charlotte. We already knew she was going to win because this was a triple threat match way before it was ever announced. We knew about this months ago. Becky Lynch wins by disqualification. I can't make this up. Charlotte Flair could not beat Becky Lynch with one leg. Becky Lynch had one leg, and Charlotte could not beat her in 10 minutes. In fact, Becky had the disarmor on her at one point. Charlotte Flair capitalized, or I should say, transitioned into the figure 8 leg lock, and she still couldn't tap out Becky Lynch. None of this made sense. None of this was realistic. And here comes Ronda Rousey, hauling off into the ring. We're hoping for something epic. Save us from this mediocrity, this lackluster, nonsensical bullshit. Save us. Give us something cool. Ronda puts like a punch or a knee into Becky Lynch and then sits in the corner and waits for the referee to call a disqualification. So Becky Lynch is added into the match at WrestleMania because she wins by DQ. I can't make this shit up. Ronda Rousey ran in there just to give a knee or a punch, just one, to Becky Lynch, went to the corner, smiled. Becky Lynch is also smiling. She no-sold it. Becky Lynch is smiling because she knows what just happened. And Ronda Rousey goes up the rampway. And Charlotte's like, damn it. And Becky's like, yeah. And Ronda's like, yeah. But if Ronda was really pissed at Becky so much, wouldn't you cost her the match and make sure that she doesn't get into the Mania match? Wouldn't that make more sense? And then you just beat Charlotte? Why would you do that? And even if this is the way they're going, that was the best you used Ronda in Cleveland, Ohio for that? To throw one punch or knee into Becky Lynch and then smile? If you, because I know I can speak for myself, if you were already off of this feud already, if this was a train wreck from the beginning, and you are no longer interested in this threesome at WrestleMania between Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Ronda, if you weren't before, after last night, I'm willing to bet every single one of you this morning are done with that match, and most likely none of us, I know I don't, want to see that in the main event. It does not deserve it anymore. This is a train wreck that I don't know if it can be put back on the tracks. You only have 4 Monday Night Raws left. Good luck with that. There is no question that match, everything about it, goes into the bad column. That's now 4 in the bad. Did I put the Owens in a... Yeah, I already put the Bryan and Owens in the good, right? Yeah. I think I did. If not, I don't think it would fucking matter, but I think I did. And then you go to... Because do I have to go on with this? That Ronda Rousey I already went over at the beginning of this. I don't need to keep rehashing it. That was just the most... Not even despicable. Despicable is a good thing in wrestling. If somebody does something despicable, then it's probably the evil villain and it's probably cool. This was just bad. I mean, they're lucky I'm not putting it into the ugly again, but I kind of already did that earlier in the video. But I just can't fucking fathom that. I guess we'll just go to the main event, guys. Because I don't want to spend another second on that. I really don't. I'm done with it. We'll go to the main event. And we're going into the main event, guys, with 7 goods, 4 bads, and 3 uglies. So this main event better produce some really good results. The good news for the main event, the match was really good. It was. I'm not going to lie. And I know there's a lot of Roman haters out there. There's a lot of Shield haters. The match was good. It just was. For something that was promoted as a 6-man tag from the beginning, so I wasn't thrown off base here, for a schmaz match that didn't have a title on the line, so that's another bonus. No title on the line, so you can have the schmaz match if you want. But it was the Shield at their best. It was utter chaos. There was a lot of fun in this match. You had Dean Ambrose jumping off the kickoff table way in left field. You had Seth Rollins diving from out of nowhere from the crowd. From in the crowd. You had people going through tables, Shield bombs. McIntyre, I believe, went through the outside commentary table. It was utter chaos, but in a good way. At first, I'm thinking, why is the Shield in the main event? But if you guys watched the preview video in the podcast this week, I told you guys that was most likely going to be the main event. So I was not caught off guard. And the way they were promoting this, the last time ever for the Shield, because Seth is going on for his individual title reign with Brock Lesnar, because we all expect Seth Rollins to get the title from him at Mania. So he's going on for that big singles run. Dean Ambrose is supposedly leaving. Roman Reigns' future is in question. He just got back. It's the last time ever for the Shield. That's what they were promoting all throughout that match. So it really did start to feel more and more special, more and more fun. The action was nonstop. And when it was all said and done, guys, you had the Shield bomb to Corbin for the W. The Shield wins, celebrates afterwards. For one last time, we see the fist bump. Whether it is the last time or not, who cares? I hope it's not. I love seeing the Shield together because the 3 of them together really is badass, guys. The 3 of them together really does bring out the best in each other. It's really cool. It's unexplainable. And that really is why they are one of the best factions of all time, because there's a realism there. They really do bring out the best in one another. And you see that in their work. So it's really fun to see. But some props here to Lashley and McIntyre as well. They really held their own. But Corbin is who I want to give the most daps out to for the opposing team. Corbin did more than just hold his own. He showed that he could hang in there in a main event spot. That was cool, man. Never was the biggest Corbin fan. I kind of liked his constipated Corbin days when he was the Constable. I liked it, even though the ratings were sinking. But that seems to be Raw in general. But I always knew there was something in Baron Corbin if he knew how to shut his mouth on social media and stop bashing the fans for their shortcomings, meaning the company. There was something in him. Last night, that was the match of Baron Corbin's career so far. I can say that wholeheartedly. Great job by Corbin. Again, going into that match, I didn't feel like that should be the main event. I was questioning why it was the main event. But by the time it was done, I was definitely okay with that being the main event. There is no question that goes into the good column, guys. That's a good. Does that look like it? Yeah, that's a good. So the main event goes into the good column. That's the good news. The bad news, they needed a lot more than just one good tally, I think, in that match to make up for everything else. The problem is, I can't give it any more than one good tally. There was nothing that was exceptional in there. There was nothing after the match that was exceptional. There was nothing that I could honestly give another good tally because it was so cool. There wasn't. It was a good main event. That's good to see. I gave it a good in the good column. I can't give it any more. And because of that, this doesn't look good, guys. I'll tally it up right now live with you guys. Every ugly counts as a bad, as you guys know. So we'll cross one of those uglies out. Make that 2 bads, which means that's a full pack on that and an extra. We'll cross another tally out. That's 2 more bads. We'll cross another ugly out. That's 2 more bads. That is a full, another pack there. So that's 10 full on the bad and 8 good, guys. Wow. So when it's all said and done, this pay-per-view, you have 10 in the bad, 8 in the good. This was a thumbs down pay-per-view. I know, you ain't gotta hate the messenger, although it's okay if you do. I love being the boogeyman. I love being the bad guy. I love pissing people off. But we just went through it, guys. And even though there was a lot of times last night I was thoroughly entertained, there was some good wrestling last night. Always great to see. There were some storylines playing out. Always good to see. When it was all said and done, there was just too many illogical segments. Too much nonsensical bullshit. And nothing really captivating us toward WrestleMania or for WrestleMania. And for those reasons, the bad far outweighed the good. Not too far, but it outweighed it. 10-8. It was close. But I just can't get over all the multi-person schmaz matches, especially when it comes to championship matches. I can't get over the fact that a guy like Kevin Owens just gets granted a championship match without even having a match. And then in that same match, they announce another guy who just came back from injury and is absolutely not deserving of a title opportunity, at least not yet. Mustafa Ali. Diminishing the validity of a championship, especially a heavyweight championship. I can't get over that. And I also can't get over the fact that Ronda Rousey went in there, delivered a punch or a knee, just one move. Becky no-sells it, everybody's smiling, and that was their whole big final segment, for pay-per-views anyway, to get us to WrestleMania in that main event. That is what's captivating us for Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte. I can't get over all those big things. And because of that, when it was all said and done, the goods can never really get back into action with the uglies. The goods can never really get back into this. I guess you could say from the beginning, they were set out to lose the good column. And they did. And they should. I really hope WWE could take a good long look in the mirror at themselves, man. This is the shit that's killing the business. We can give our golf claps and say, wow, what a triple threat heavyweight championship match that was last night. What a triple threat tag team championship match that was last night. What a great fatal 4-way match that was last night. But where does it end? Is that all that Vince is going to give us? Because it's the easy way out? Because he knows that everyone will stand up and give the golf claps? And he could keep signing and overcrowding the roster? And people will continue to not be utilized correctly and 50-50 booked because the sheep are going to continue to go, wow, these flips and dives are amazing. At what point does it end? When can people like me, true fans, who want to see champions treated as such, who want to see challengers for the straps treated as such, who want to see wins and losses mean something in this business, this profession. When can fans like me see something like that? Oh wait, there's a gentleman by the name of Cody Rhodes. One of his first statements he said of how AEW is going to be different from everybody else. Cody Rhodes said, wins and losses are going to finally start meaning something again. Thank you, Cody. That is all I've ever wanted from this company. If we've got to see it elsewhere, then so be it. That's it. There's no more stops. Now we just go through 4 more Monday Night Raws, 4 more SmackDowns, and it is time for WrestleMania. It starts tonight with tonight's Monday Night Raw. Again, tonight is one of only 4 left. If they don't get us fully captivated with this card now, I don't know what they're waiting for, and I don't know if they're going to be able to then. Tonight has to be it. Batista and Triple H's face-to-face is the only thing that I'm really looking forward to. Other than that, what am I looking forward to? Becky Lynch hopping along still? Is that what we're going to get? That definitely needed to end a month ago. Or how about when it first started? But no, she's going to hop herself into WrestleMania. I could not think of a worse storyline for Becky Lynch or this whole main event match. They should be ashamed of themselves. Am I supposed to look forward to that tonight? Absolutely not. Am I supposed to look forward to their big match that they announced? Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the IC strap? Oh wait, I've already seen that 100 times. I won't flip out about it yet. I'm going to let them put on the show tonight. And then tomorrow morning, I'll join you guys for the review show of Monday Night Raw. And we'll talk all about it. And I'm sure we're going to get amplified to the point of no return. But I'm okay with that, because this company deserves to be torn down, to be brought down to its very knees, to be brought down, destructed, deconstructed down to its very foundation. Brick by brick needs to be brought down till they finally realize that they need to restructure from within. They need to change everything about this company because it's absolutely in the shitter. And headed toward WrestleMania, that is unacceptable. 10 bad, 8 good. It was a shitty pay-per-view when it was all said and done, and it should be looked at as such. Because it's garbage that they're giving us. I'm not going to be one of the sheep and golf clap because you're giving me a guy who's a ping pong, a human ping pong bouncing from pillar to post, and say, wow, give me more fatal four-ways in my championship matches. No, I want to see a champion versus a challenger. Collide. Just because Vince isn't as creative anymore or doesn't want to give these matches the time of day, doesn't want to give any more creative input. He wants to take the easy way out. I'm not going to allow them to do such. I'm the Amplified Man. Thank you for joining me for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Can't wait to do it again with you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw's review and reaction. For now, get your Starbucks refilled as I'm going to do. Whoop that Monday ass. We'll reconvene. We'll check out Raw tonight. Check you guys on Twitter at BC Amplified. And I'll check you tomorrow. For now, that's it. May need to save that for later. Who knows? Check you.